Hello, friends. We are back. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of Botched Situation. I am Jake, a degenerate friend of Chris's.
And I'm Chris, the eternally hungry.
We, as usual, are your co hosts and competitors. Who's going to win? Lots of suspense. But more importantly, we still have no idea what we're doing.
No idea. Welcome, everyone, to Season 0, Episode 6, in which we will continue to grapple, quip, deliberate, and otherwise battle it out for the coveted title of Not the Screw Up.
Of
So how you
which
doing, Jake?
I would like to just point out,
Yeah?
you are by far not the screw up to this point, as you have won every episode easily.
Every two of them by at least a single point. Yes.
Yes. Getting owned is the proper terminology for that, Chris. Really quick, I'm sure some of our watchers are noticing. Our listeners can't tell, obviously, but we have this wonderful new layout for our main screen, and I just want to give credit to Chris here. He is our wonderful designer. It looks so amazing. The purple, orange, and the as you guys can see, our luscious bodies are on display. It's quite a work of art. So, virtual clap for Chris. Virtual clap.
Anyway, as with everything about this podcast, it is a work in progress. So expect to see changes, tweaks, more assets coming. If you guys have any suggestions, any feedback, hit us with it. Put it in the chat. Check out our Google form at bit.ly/CJTellUs. And let us know what you think. And if there's any changes you'd like to see made.
Absolutely. Your feedback is taken into account always. As time goes on, you will see things morph better and better. So, enough of that. I'm sorry for digressing, but yes, how has your week been, Chris?
My week has been just fine and dandy, honestly. I've been having a lot of fun getting this podcast set up and working on all these fine pieces of art and polishing this up for all you beautiful people. I assume you're beautiful. I can feel the beauty through the internet, so it's got to be pretty strong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anyone who's on Twitch is just naturally a higher tier in the attraction level for humans. I think we can agree on that.
I will say, I'm bummed that I haven't seen the next season of The Mandalorian yet. I am not on the ball.
Didn't they drop the trailer, though, right?
I thought they put it out. Or is that, no, that's next month.
Oh, yeah. I saw something. It might have been just like, a sneak preview or something like that. Not a formal trailer or anything. So
I must be thinking of something else that just came out.
I did hear some drama. Supposedly the main actor, what's his name, got mad on set and walked off or something. I don't know if it's true or not, but
was someone messing with the lights?
Maybe.
That'd have been it. Anything happening over there on that end?
It's wonderful. We've got rain in Texas. My grass is growing for the first time, which is exciting, but also means I have to mow more often. But other than that, no, man. I'm very excited for this episode and to finally beat you. I'm going to win.
Good. You better. We'll see how it goes, and we'll start the ponage right now, if you don't mind very much. Our first segment of the night is a familiar one, Quizzard's first rule, except this time around, we've tailored it a little bit more. We've curated a list of 10 questions for each other. We've got a theme where we're asking cooking and food trivia. And we're going multiple choice this time, so we've actually got a chance of getting some of them right.
Yes. Also, I'm just going to call out, we call this out every time anyways, but please play along. Those of you in chat, those of you that are listening, make a drinking game of it. Make a game with your significant other, but also make it competitive, because that's the whole point of this show. And again, to clarify, for each segment, there is going to be points within each segment, but overall, each segment only counts as 1 point to get our victor. I think I'm ready, Chris. Quizzard's first roll, cooking themed. Would you like me to ask you first, or would you like to ask me first?
You know what? I'll go ahead and go through my questions first.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
I understand. You want me to be embarrassed first.
So, to start off, Jake, can you tell me from what part of the pig do we get ham? Does it come from the hind leg, the shoulder, the belly, or the tail?
So, to be honest with you, I don't actually know. I guess I'm gonna make a guess based on its size and stuff. The hind leg.
You are correct.
Woo!
On the board, first question. Strong start. All right. Can you tell me what is the chemical compound that is more commonly known as baking soda? Is it potassium monothalamate, sodium bicarbonate, zinc oxide, or plutonium trineonite?
Chris, I just had a thought. Should I have the intense music playing during this?
You know what? Go for it.
All right. Sorry, I'm delayed, but I'm gonna get the tense music going for y'all. Ah, much better. Okay.
Crank that tension.
Let me think. One more time. It's potassium, word I can't pronounce, sodium bicarbonate, zinc oxide, plutonium I can't say that either. Chat, anybody want to give me an answer? I feel like it's not the sodium one, not the zinc one. I'm going to go with the potassium one. A.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is sodium bicarbonate.
Dang it.
That's baking soda. You know what? It's early in the game. Question 3. Which of the following is not botanically classified as a berry? Okay. So 3 of these are technically botanically berries. 1 is not. Is it a tomato, a grape, an apricot, or a banana?
Okay, so I know a tomato is, because that one's a trick question. And I know a strawberry is not. But that's not one of my options. Not a berry. No. Classified as a, or is not classified. I feel like I want to say banana, but this is probably a trick question, so I'm gonna say banana.
I'm afraid a banana is technically, botanically speaking, a berry. An apricot is not a berry.
All right.
I learned a berry is apparently any fruit that the entire flesh is edible and there is no pulp.
Chris, I just want to call out real quick. It looks like my internet is struggling at the moment. So some people are probably getting some buffering. I'm getting some dropped frame rates and such. So apologies to those of you that hopefully Spectrum comes through and things get better here.
Yeah, apologies for technical difficulties.
Out of our control.
Yeah, if nothing else, we'll make sure we get a recording up online that you can watch later on. So I guess let's just move on and hope it loads up.
Yeah, I don't have anything special or additional running. It's just Spectrum must be getting hit a little hard at the moment.
They do that sometimes. All right. Well, how about this? Question number 4.
Okay.
What is the acid in vinegar? Is it citric acid, malic acid, sulfuric acid, or acetic acid?
Citric acid. I have no clue.
Acetic acid. Yeah, I had no clue either. This was all researched. I knew a couple of these.
Okay.
Number 5. In film and literature, what flavor booster is often used as a weapon against vampires? Is it garlic, basil, kosher salt, or cream of tartar?
This one I actually know. Garlic. Because I've
Garlic
read
is
enough books with vampires in them.
absolutely. Vampires are the opposite of deliciousness. Number 6. What were two of the original ingredients in milkshakes when they debuted in 1885? Did they contain cheese and apples, eggs and whiskey, soap and lemons, or flour and coriander?
Hmm. Just because when I think to like 1885, I think of like tough people. I want to say eggs and whiskey, but I feel like that's also wrong. But I'm gonna go with it anyways. Eggs and whiskey.
Eggs and whiskey is correct.
Yes. Is
The
that
original milkshakes were a treat and a tonic, and they had eggs and whiskey in them.
nice? I think that's
Mhm.
only the third one that I got correct.
That sounds right, yeah. That's 50% so far.
It looks like
All
the
right.
connection is coming back a little bit, Chris.
Oh,
Dropping
good.
less frames. So hopefully we'll be
Yeah,
good.
that looks better.
Spectrum, please be good to us.
And if you're not, no follow through. Number 7. Which of these foods is also the German word for whirlpool? As in a whirlpool in the water, not a whirlpool tub. Is it pretzel, schnitzel, strudel, or spatzel?
I'm going to guess schnitzel.
It is strudel.
Interesting. What about a strudel is a whirlpool?
I don't know, but I double checked it. That's what it is.
Okay.
Maybe real strudels are swirly, and we just have them wrong in America.
I mean, I think the only strudels that I've really had are like toaster strudels, which aren't very good. So
Yeah. I don't think that counts as an authentic German strudel.
no.
Number 8. What dish made with celery, apples, walnuts, and grapes was named after the hotel where it originated? Is it Ritz Loaf, the Plaza Surprise, Best Western Dream Fluff, or Waldorf Salad?
I have absolutely no idea. Made with celery, apples, and walnuts and grapes.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty tasty. I don't know what any of these are.
Well, 3 of them are nothing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like all of these sound totally crazy. I'm gonna go with the Waldorf salad. That sounds least
That's right.
offensive.
You got it, Waldorf Salad.
Excellent.
Tasty stuff. That's 4 right.
Woo! I'm
All right.
less than 50%.
That's 50. 4 out of 8. Number 9. Which food out of these 4 has the highest percentage of water content? Is it a cucumber, a watermelon, iceberg lettuce, or celery? We're talking percentage, not volume.
Right. Celery.
I'm afraid it is not celery, it is cucumber.
Really? Okay, that makes sense.
At over 96% water. Last question of the round. What were the original 3 ingredients in grog, the famous pirate drink? Was it rum, pineapple, and algae? Rum, water, and citrus juice? Rum, brine, and hot peppers? Or rum, mug, and consciousness?
Excuse me. Based on all the pirate video games I've played, grog is typically a bunch of random nonsense. Again, my only context is video games. It tends to be kind of spicy. I don't know why they would have hot peppers. Rum, pineapple, and algae? Citrus juice? I'm gonna go with rum, brine, and hot peppers. It's either that or rum, water, and citrus juice. One of those two.
Hot peppers. Final answer.
Final answer.
It's rum water and citrus juice.
Dang it.
No.
I got a 40%, guys. 40%.
Yep. Everyone used to get straight rum on ships, and then they started watering it down to keep sailors from getting drunk, and then they started adding citrus juice to prevent scurvy, and that's grog.
Oh, that makes a great that's a great point. Add the citrus for the scurvy problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not so good. 4 out of 10. I think you're gonna know more than 4 on mine, Chris. These are some of these are hard. Some of these are pretty easy, but
We'll see how it goes. It's our first time doing it this way.
okay. Again, for those of you that have been having internet problems, it looks like it's coming back. So some of you might be behind or need to get caught up. Please refresh your page, and it will bring you back. Apologies about missing the intro and stuff. You can always watch the VOD. Okay, let me cue the music again. All right, Chris.
All right.
Question number 1. According to the USDA, chicken should be cooked to what temperature? 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 163 degrees Fahrenheit, or 170 degrees Fahrenheit?
I don't know. I don't memorize meat temperatures. I probably should. I usually just cook until it's not pink anymore. Chicken's one of the more dangerous ones, right? Poultry has the scarier germs. I'm going to say 170.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is 165. Good guess, though. That is true, though. Chicken is definitely the one you got to be worried about. And a huge shout out to Rachel, who did get it correct in chat. And thank you, Chris, for not cheating. Very good, Rachel. Very good. 165 was the right answer.
I don't have room to have chat up.
I will say too,
occasionally.
I feel like a lot of people overcook chicken because they're trying to be safe, but then it just gets dry. So, anyways, question number 2. A roux is often used for thickening sauces or soups. What are the typical main ingredients of a roux? Flour and egg, flour and water, flour and lard, or flour and butter?
Well, okay, I make roux all the time, and I make them with flour and butter, but it doesn't mean that's right. The flour and lard is tempting. I could see that being like the original French way to do it, but I use flour and butter. I'm going to say flour and butter.
That is correct. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. It is flour and butter. According to Rachel in chat, Chris is the gravy master.
I made gravy tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah. Chicken and gravy and mashed potatoes. Oh, came out fantastic.
Sounds
If I
wonderful.
do say so.
It's like I need to come visit or something so I can try these things.
Yeah.
Um,
I will gravy your brains out.
That's what she said. Okay. Question number 3. What do we call the person who is responsible for making the sauces in a professional kitchen? Sauce maker, sauce chef, sauce cook, or saucier?
Pretty sure it's saucier, but
Saucier. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sounds like sous chef, but yeah, it's saucier. Yeah.
Final
Thank
answer?
you, Ratatouille. Yeah. Saucier.
That is correct. Saucier.
Pixar has enlightened me.
Yes. All right. Question number 4. This one's a little harder. We'll see how you do.
Okay.
Approximately how many tablespoons in 1 cup? 16, 10, 12, or 14?
I do know this one. Also, I do. It's
I like how
16.
Chris is sad to know the answer because he feels bad that I keep losing. So he just wants me to have that win again. Come on, Chris.
I feel like I'm making the questions too hard or something.
Okay, so which one?
Yeah, 16. 16 tablespoons in a cup.
That is correct. Very good, very good. All right. Question
We've got a
number
big
5.
mag on the refrigerator.
Ah, see, that's the way to do it. What happens to me when I'm cooking is I just always forget and have to keep Googling it over and over again.
That works too. We've all
Question,
got Google in our pocket.
yes. Question number 5. What do we call the cooking method that involves searing and cooking a meat over a low temperature to completion? Roasting, broiling, braising, or sous vide?
I guess I didn't really know that there was a specific name for that. I thought that was just how you cook meat if you want it to be good.
That is also the right answer, but
I don't think it's sous vide, but I don't know. Braising, isn't that where you? I think that's cooking it in its own juice and like doing something with covering it in liquid as you cook it.
you tell me.
Broiling is in the oven underneath a direct and very high heat, so that would sear it. But is that like the name for the whole process? Maybe. I don't think that would be roasting. I'm not sure about sous vide, but I know broiling will sear the outside of whatever you put under those elements. I'm going to say broiling.
Final answer?
Don't make fun of me, but yeah.
Good guess. That is incorrect. The correct answer is braising.
Great. Really?
Yep.
That's great. Okay. Well,
Um,
look at me go on and on about sauces and juices.
braising is honestly, like you said, it's one of my preferred methods of cooking. Particularly, I like to do a smoked paprika and garlic braised chicken. On point. All right. Question number 6. You have 3 of 6 correct so far. This is an interesting one. When boiling water, what does adding salt do besides add flavor? Does it lower the boiling point, raise the boiling point, make the water boil faster, or make the water feel bad about losing so much?
Because it's so salty.
It's so salty, for all you gamers out there.
Oh, I didn't know it did anything. I literally never add salt to the water.
You should. It adds flavor, as I stated, but it also does something else.
Well, then I imagine it wouldn't. Well, I was gonna say it couldn't be raises the boiling point because why would you want it to boil later? But I guess that would make the water hotter, so you could cook faster without it evaporating. I don't.
Talk to me, Chris.
I always skip the salt because I can never taste it. I just salt the food after I cook it. I didn't know that it does anything else. I don't think it makes the water boil faster. I think it would change the boiling point. So you're changing the salinity of the water. And my first instinct is lower it so it boils faster. But now I'm thinking maybe it's a trick question. You want to raise the boiling point so it's like 225 degrees and cooks quicker. So I'm going to say raises the boiling point. And
that is correct. That is correct. I'm so glad to hear you talk through it.
Right.
You literally went through exactly why it does that. And not only does it cook faster because you have a higher temperature, but it actually tends to cook more evenly. Has something to do with what it does molecularly. I'm not a scientist. But very good, Chris. Very, very good.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Question number 7. I'm a huge fanboy of Alton Brown, so that's where this one comes from. Alton Brown once, if you guys don't know, he's a famous chef, does Food Network, all the 9 yards. Alton Brown once called this spice the king of spices. Is it salt, pepper, cardamom, or clove?
It's hard to tell with Mr. Brown sometimes. I watch so many good eats, but it's been a long time, so I don't remember this exactly. And it could be something very obvious because sometimes he'll just be like, this thing is amazing for all these reasons, and even though you already use it, you should know why it's great. But he could also be use more clove in your cooking because it's amazing. I don't know. I don't know if salt would be categorized as a spice, and he's very scientific. So I'm just gonna say pepper, black pepper.
That's
He told
correct.
me. Yeah. All right.
Very good. I just want to point out Chris has already won this segment, and there are still 3 questions left. Moving on to the next question. What is the most consumed meat in the USA? Beef, pork, chicken, or turkey?
Mm, mm, my gut says beef, but then I'm like, maybe I don't know. I eat more chicken than anything. Maybe it's deceptive, but then again, fast food. I'm sure burgers outsell any other kind of sandwich. It's got to be beef, right? I think it's probably beef. Beef.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
Good guess. Incorrect. It's actually chicken.
It is. It is
It
chicken.
is chicken.
Wow.
Beef is number 2. Very good.
It's those nuggets.
Yes, those nuggets. Those college kids eating 47 nuggets. Okay. Again, apologies for the internet problems. It hasn't gone away yet. We're still dropping frames all over the place. So I apologize. My internet is having a hard time tonight. And yes, Rachel, that is correct. Dem nuggets.
Damn nugs.
Question number 9. What is the average number of rows on an ear of corn? 20, 15, 16, or 23? All of y'all that grew up in the Midwest should know this by heart because we all had corn in our backyards.
Yeah, I remember growing up and my mom making me recite the number of things on vegetables pledge. Yeah.
Corn for
Are they
days.
rows or are they columns? Depends on how you orient it.
The number of rows going from left to right on
The length of the corn.
yes. Again, the options are 20, 15, 16, and 23.
Average?
Yes.
I'm trying to think. How many bites does it take to get around? If I eat like 4 to 5 rows in a bite, and it's like 3 and a bit, I'm going to say 16 rows.
That's right. Very good. Yes. Mass cheering. Your Midwest is showing. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Okay. Last question of Quizzard's First Rule, cooking themed episode. Number 10. Of these oils, which has the highest smoke point of 450 degrees Fahrenheit? Lard, canola oil, peanut oil, or sesame oil?
Well, I've never cooked with lard, so I don't know. It's not sesame oil. I'm pretty confident on that based on how quickly it smokes when I'm doing stir fries. My gut's telling me peanut or lard. I don't know, lard's typically solid at room temperature, so it's got to heat up to even liquefy. So I'm guessing lard probably has the highest smoke point of the 4. So I'm going to say lard, final answer.
Good guess. Incorrect. It was peanut oil.
Peanut oil, okay. Well,
all right. So, in summary, I had 4 points. Chris had 6.
All right,
if I counted correctly.
Than like the 1.5 that we were averaging in 15 questions before.
I'm sorry, you had 7, not 6. I counted incorrectly.
All right.
All right, so Chris takes segment number 1. Chris is leading 1-0.
1 point on the board. Count it.
Yes. All right. We are going to move along to segment number 2, my personal favorite segment that we have used many, many, many times, the Spot the Fake Quotes. For those of you that don't know, this is a segment where we pick 3 different quotes each, and we alter them, and the other person has to guess which one is the one that is the accurate one. Okay? Ready to dive in?
I'm so ready. I love this segment.
So the first quote I picked is from a superhero that is near and dear to my heart, named the Tick. And
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you are aware. The Tick has plenty of famous one-liners that are epic beyond all belief. So here's the situation. I won't dive in too much. His sidekick Arthur, or the Moth, he's having a conversation with him, and Arthur's feeling really unmotivated. And they're hanging out in Arthur's apartment. So, what did the Tick say? Option number 1. And I can't do a Tick voice, so forgive me. Destiny wrapped you in the drapes of justice this morning, my friend, and now fear is trying to pull off your trousers. If you give up, if you give in, then you're going to end up in the nude with fear just standing there, amusing at your dangling unmentionables. Option number 2. Destiny decorated your body this morning, my friend, and now fear is trying to pull off your slacks. If you give up, if you give in, then you're going to end up fully exposed with fear just standing there, cackling at your dangling unmentionables. Or option number 3. Destiny dressed you this morning, my friend, and now fear is trying to pull off your pants. If you give up, if you give in, then you're going to end up naked with fear just standing there, laughing at your dangling unmentionables.
Mm. Can I just say that I want to do an episode where it's just 5 rounds of spot the fake quote and all of them are Tick quotes?
Yes, I agree.
I don't think it's the first one. I don't think it's the drapes of destiny.
Drapes of justice, to be clear.
Drapes of justice. Destiny's drapes of justice.
Mm-hmm.
The Tick is a simple man, but he also has a certain flair to the way he speaks, and I like the sound of the second option. Yes, I think I'm going to go with that second option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good guess, but that's incorrect. The correct answer was the third one.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more simplistic, which I kind of played into that, obviously. Well, yeah, good guess.
I liked exposed and cackling.
Yes, agreed.
Well.
Remind me, Chris, do I do all 3 or do we go back and forth?
Back and forth.
Okay.
Typically how we do it. So my first quote is from a series of books probably a lot of people are familiar with, The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher.
Oh, yes. I don't know if JJ is watching, but JJ loves the Dresden Files.
He's the one who recommended them to me. So.
Yes. Some amazing characters in those.
Gotten up through book number 10.
Dang.
Yeah. And then they stopped being available. So, but this quote is from book number 12, which I haven't read, but I'm read close to it, so I'm familiar with the series. Book number 12, Changes. So Harry Dresden, main character, is a hard-boiled wizard detective who investigates supernatural occurrences in Chicago. He's a pretty curt, forward person, powerful in his magic, but lacks control and artifice. In this book, he learns. Well, see, I don't want to spoil it for you now if you haven't gotten that far. Basically, vampires have kidnapped someone dear to him, and he needs to rescue her because not only does he want to save her life, but also they're going to use her to cast a blood curse that will kill everyone related to her in any way, including... And that's the main plot of the story. So this is just one of the many... this isn't even a one-liner, but, you know, it's a hard-boiled detective novel. He says lots of witty little one-liners, and this is one of them. So which one's real? Does he say, laugh whenever you can. It keeps you from killing yourself when things are bad. That and vodka. Or, laugh any chance you get. It keeps you from ending it all when things are rough. That and gin. Or, live, laugh, love. It keeps you from jumping when things are at their worst. That and Riesling.
So I have read a few of the Dresden Files. I love them. Harry Dresden is an amazing character. Um,
Fantastic.
I want to go with the one where he mentions vodka. That sounds the most like that situation to my memory. It's been a minute. So I'm going to go with option number 1.
You got it.
All right.
That and vodka will keep you from killing yourself when things are bad.
Sounds like him. Okay. Moving on to your next quote, Chris.
Okay.
Before I say this one, I just want everyone to know there is some adult language in this quote. So if you're easily offended or have children listening, you might want to cover their ears. But we do have this set as an adult show, so please bear that in mind. Ever since we started this segment, I've been wanting to use a quote from this character. The character is Max Payne. I am obsessed with Max Payne. Not only is he a total BA detective shooter guy, but Chris looks exactly like him. They're both super buff and bald and have beards, and it's just righteous. And also he wears Hawaiian shirts, and Chris used to wear Hawaiian shirts when he was younger. So
I did.
It always makes me think of that. This is specifically from Max Payne 3. And the context of this quote is basically in Max Payne 3, you get hired to protect people. You're a detective / bodyguard type. And the whole story ends up getting really violent and a whole bunch of horrible stuff happens. And multiple times in the story, what he does is he's like narrating to himself, like his feelings about what's going on. And I don't want to give away exactly where in the story to cause any spoilers, but basically he's about to move forward with fighting and killing more bad guys, but he already slaughtered like a whole bunch of bad guys that were trying to kill him and the people that he was protecting. So again, this is just kind of him talking to himself. Okay, so option number 1. So I guess I'd become what they wanted me to be, a murderer, some asshole with a gun who puts holes in other bad guys. That's what they asked for. So in the end, that's what they got. Say what you want about Americans, but we understand capitalism. You buy yourself a service, and that's exactly what you get. And these guys had paid for some angry gringo without the sensibilities to know right from wrong. Okay, that was option number 1. Option number 2. So I guess I'd become what they wanted me to be, a killer, some rent-a-clown with a gun who puts holes in other bad guys. Well, that's what they had paid for. So in the end, that's what they got. Say what you want about Americans, but we understand capitalism. You buy yourself a product and you get what you pay for. And these chumps had paid for some angry gringo without the sensibilities to know right from wrong. And option number 3. So I guess I'd become what they wanted me to be, a butcher, some white guy with a gun who puts holes in other bad guys. Well, that's what they had wanted. So in the end, that's what they got. Say what you want about Americans, but we understand capitalism. You buy yourself a gun and you get a gun. And these rich assholes had paid for some angry gringo without the sensibilities to know right from wrong.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a little of a longer one.
No, that's good. That's good. So I haven't played Max Payne, but I've seen you stream on your channel a little bit. I love Rent-A-Clown. I want that to be the right one, but I don't think it is. But I don't know. I'm leaning towards the first option. I've become a murderer. Yeah. I think it's probably the first one that you gave me.
Final answer?
You know what? If it is Rent-A-Clown, I'll still be happy. But yeah, I'm going with the first one. Final answer.
That is not correct. It is the Rent-A-Clown one.
Oh, man.
Stick with your gut.
Oh, man. Okay. Shoot.
Good guess though.
I
What
just
a
thought that was pure Jake creativity. I really like that.
oh, I wish I was that creative. There are so many great lines like that in that game. Oh my gosh, I could just like again, it's very adult, but every other line is like this epic quote like that.
He's got a hell of an inner monologue. I like it.
Yes, he does.
All right. Well, your second quote is from a popular young adult science fiction series from the late 90s, early 2000s called Animorphs. Ever heard of
Oh,
it?
a classic.
Heck yeah. Specifically, Animorphs number 49, The Diversion by K.A. Applegate. Um, so this quote comes from the character Aximili, aka Ax, the Andalite. He is an alien. He's like a blue centaur with eyeball stalks and a scorpion tail.
Blue Centaur. Okay.
Yeah, and he hangs out with a group of 5 human children. Um, not like little kids, teenagers. And they all have this alien technology implanted in them that allows them to acquire the DNA of animals and transform into them. They are the Animorphs. Um, they fight evil aliens. They protect their friends and family and the whole world. And Axe, as the only alien in the group, sometimes has trouble fitting into human culture and sounding believable as a human person. Kind of that alien trope. So in this scene, he and his compatriot Tobias are trying to covertly acquire a DNA sample from Tobias's mom's dog so they can follow her around for reasons. And they are disguised and trying to intimidate her at a grocery store to distract her so they can do what they need to do. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So this quote is Axe, the alien who doesn't know how to fit into human culture, trying to intimidate a person while disguised as a young human.
Got it.
Okay. So, what does he say? Does he say, "You do not know me, but I am a young hooligan. I do not trust the man. I probably will not get a degree, and statistics say my present violence and destructive mannerisms will likely lead to a prison sentence. I am a dangerous man, and I am causing chaos in this store."
Okay.
Or does he say, "You do not know me, but I am a juvenile delinquent. I do not trust authority figures. I probably will not graduate from high school, and statistics say my present rowdiness and vandalism will likely lead to more serious crimes. I am a dangerous fellow, and I am causing mayhem in this store."
Okay.
Or does he say, "You do not know me, but I am a problem child. I do not trust most adults. I probably will need to get a GED, and statistics say my present rebelliousness and anger issues will likely lead to a life of villainy. I am a dangerous rascal, and I am causing a scene in this store."
I really liked the sound of number two.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's anything I've learned from doing this amazing show with you, Chris, is that I need to go with my gut more. So I'm going to go with number two, no questions asked, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's number three as well.
Hey, your gut won the day on this one. It is number 2.
Yes.
Hey, 2 for 2. Excellent round so far. Hey, that means you already won it, right?
I think so. I think so.
Well, hey, we
Finally.
can anyway.
Okay. All right, Chris, moving on to your last spot the fake quotes.
All right.
This quote is from a book by an author named Jay. I think I'm saying his last name correctly. Posey, Posey, Posey. It's part of a series called "The Legends of the Dusk Walkers," or Legends of the Dusk Walkers, and this is book number 1, and it's titled 3.
Okay.
Just to give you a little bit of an idea of what this world is, I have read these books. They're pretty good. I did enjoy them. It's kind of, I don't want to say stereotypical, but post-apocalyptic kind of feel. the world is collapsed and there's no more heroes left. It's everyone on their own. Kind of reminds me of Book of Eli, the movie. Kind of
Okay.
feel very that kind of thing. So, anyways, the main character, his name is Three, and he's kind of like a hired gun slash drifter that
Okay.
just kind of floats through life. And he's a good guy, but he's also a little bit of anti-hero. Like, he just doesn't really care because he's like this crazy drifter, but he's also got a little bit of a heart kind of type thing. Um, so here's the situation. He's drifting along and he comes across a sick woman and her son. And basically, she's dying and he feels bad. And he decides that he's going to try to help them and protect them to get her somewhere where she can get better. Typical, very classic sounding story, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
so the context of this particular quote is he's thinking to himself. Um, the woman's name is Cass and her son's name is Ren, and they had just set up camp after they just started traveling out in what they call the open, which is kind of just like the advancedness of post-apocalyptic danger and all that stuff. And again, just to reiterate, this quote is him talking to himself internally, and he's observing that Cass and Ren have these big packs with lots of equipment in it that he doesn't really see as useful.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay. So here's the quote. Option number 1. Wits, water, and weapons. The essential 3 of the open, in that order. Everything else was nonsense. As the saying went, if you'd survived out in the open long enough to become truly starved, you'd already outlived the normal life cycle. Option number 2. Wits, water, and weapons. The essential 3 of the open, in order of importance. Everything else was just extra weight. As the saying went, if you'd survived out in the open long enough to reach truly ravenous, you had already outlived the average life. And option number 3, wits, water, and weapons. The essential 3 of the open, in proper order. Everything else was fluff. As the saying went, if you survived out in the open long enough to get truly hungry, you had already outlived your life expectancy.
Okay. Well, I'm just not being familiar with the book. I'm going to go with general feel of the sentence, and the first one felt most cohesive to me. Yeah, and I'm not going to question it either. I'm answering number 1, final answer.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
It was actually option number 3.
really? It was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, then you are a better writer than Mr. Posey, because that was the worst of the 3.
The worst written.
Yep.
All right, I'll give him a call and tell him Mr. C. Watson does not approve of his writing style.
Let him know. I'm throwing shade.
Yes. I apologize. I'm going to turn on a fan. I'm really warm. So if the buzz gets too loud, let me know.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's fine with me. I guess that doesn't matter to the audience, does it?
They don't get a choice.
All right. So my final quote for you is from the game Deponia by Daedalic Entertainment, German-based game developer. It is a point-and-click adventure game based on the myth of Elysium, starring main character Rufus trying to get off of his trashy ruined homeworld of Deponia up to the beautiful shining Elysium in the sky and improve his lot in life. It's a variety of characters, but the quote has nothing to do with the characters or the plot of the game, because it is lyrics from an in-game song in between major chapters of the game. So, as you know, Jake, but the rest of the listeners, in between major chapters, you get little ditties from a little folk singer character who will pop up and sing a song about what's happened so far, give you a little bit of exposition, a little hint of what's coming in the next chapter. And he's backed by some of his folk singer buddies who echo the last long of the sign, the last long of the sign, last line of the song, and throwing some haze and hose during it.
Hey, oh, hip hop, hey.
So the lyrics I've chosen are from the first time this happens in the game after the first chapter.
Okay.
The first half of the song goes thusly. He says, "It's kind of pathetic. You get all erratic about dirty dishes congesting the sink. I'm tired of your bothers. Remember our fathers. They dwelled in a world filled with rubbish and stink."
Oh my gosh, that's just so immediately makes me think of Deponia. What a great series.
So the second half of this song, how does it go? Here are your three options. "But when all hope was lost, someone raised from the dust. He was handsome and cunning, his haircut had style. Courage was shining in his eyes as he said, 'Screw you guys. Mind your own business. I'm off now. Goodbye.' Huzzah, he's off now. Goodbye." Or, "But when we'd given up, somebody new showed up. He was crafty and charming and had a great smile. He was so full of bravery as he said, 'Get away from me. I'm leaving already. See you in a while. Huzzah, see you in a while.'" Or, "But when dust had settled, a man showed his mettle. He was daring and brilliant and had a sweet beard. He was in a fearless mood as he said, 'Back off, dude. Go bother someone else, 'cause I'm out of here. Huzzah, yes, he's out of here.'"
It's been so long since I've played.
I would sing it, but I can't do the accent and the weird rhythms right.
I just want to observe. For some reason, Germans just make amazing click adventure games. I don't know why, but there are so many good ones. Rachel said Rufus. Yes, Rufus is just so amazing. Okay, I'm going to follow my gut again. It's treated me well so far. The first option one felt right. So I'm going to go with option one.
Yeah. Your gut is killing it tonight. Yes, option one.
Holy cow. Christmas miracle.
3 for 3, and I'm 0 for 3. That was an actual shutout right there.
Well, so. I think again though, in this case, I picked almost all things. Well, you're familiar with the tick, but the other two you had no idea. I guess. Let's see. You had Deponia. I'm very familiar with. What were the other two? I already forgot.
Dresden Files and Animorphs.
So I mean, admittedly, Animorphs. That one was pure luck, but. All right, it is now 1-1, sir.
Right on. That's the way I like it. Tied game.
Competitive.
So segment number 3. I'm sorry if we're running a little bit behind here. We'll pick up the pace. Segment number 3 is a new twist on our classic Name the Game called Game the Name. We flipped it. It's going to work a little differently this time. A little quicker. Hope you all like it. This is how we're going to do it. We've each chosen a video game of some kind. There are no restrictions. And we will give the other competitor just the title of the game, ask a series of 5 questions about the game, and based on the title alone, they have to guess what the answers are, what the game is about. And then they will be graded based on how close they've come. Cool.
I'm ready.
So if you're down, I will start this one. The name of your game is Dark Cloud.
Dark Cloud. Okay. And just to be clear, we intentionally picked games that are super not well known, so we're totally guessing.
Because if we choose Super Mario Sunshine, you might have some idea about what the game's about. All right. So your first question about Dark Cloud is, what style of game is it? Is this an RTS, a first-person shooter, a racing game? What do you think Dark Cloud is?
Dark Cloud. I am going to say it's some sort of down. I don't want to say dungeon crawler, but kind of dungeon crawler esque. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. Not bad. Let's see. Question number 2. In this top-down dungeon crawler called Dark Cloud, who is the main protagonist? Or protagonists, if that's what you think it has.
I can't decide if Dark Cloud means that the whole game is super serious or if it's like a more light animated game called Dark Cloud and, you know, the main character's name is like, you know, something more lighthearted. So I'm gonna go with the more lighthearted direction. So a good name for him could be let me think. Dark Cloud. So what's the I'm gonna assume it's a he.
Okay.
His name is Barabbas.
Barabbas. And who is Barabbas? Describe Barabbas briefly.
Barabbas is a short animated creature. Not exactly human, but cartoon human that is small and short. And he wears a cloak. So short humanoid with a cloak. And he conveniently has an umbrella to protect himself from the rain that comes from the dark cloud.
All right. Question number 3 about Dark Cloud. Who's the bad guy?
So, in Dark Cloud, there's a evil, almost supervillain-esque scientist who is named Dr. something, Dr. Boohoo Bimbazzle. And he is the source of the dark cloud that is over the theme.
Okay. Evil scientist who's created a dark cloud. Okay.
Yes.
And question number 4. What is the atmosphere, the environment of the game?
So it's definitely more, I'm thinking medieval themed, an era of magic and swords and people with cloaks and umbrellas conveniently.
Okay. All right. And then give me a basic few sentence outline of the plot of Dark Cloud, the top-down dungeon crawler starring Barabbas, the little cloaked creature with an umbrella, and Dr. Boohoo Bamboozle, the evil scientist.
I'm so glad we're recording this because I think we should actually make games out of all the ideas we come up with.
Right on.
So the basic plot is...
Miasma.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What was that?
I said we'll just call it Dim Miasma.
Yes.
Parody of Dark Cloud. Yeah.
Yes. The basic plot is Barabbas and his family are pretty basic folk, and the amount of rain from the dark cloud is causing crops to not grow, and so the common people are not able to have food, and basically it's his quest to find out what is causing the dark cloud and the adventure involved.
Okay. You know what? You did pretty good, Jake. Honestly, you did pretty darn good. So you came up with one more recap: Dark Cloud, top-down dungeon crawler, Barabbas, the small creature,
Humanoid creature,
who was a male, and bad guy, the evil doctor who made the cloud, medieval fantasy, swords and magic setting
with umbrellas.
And basic plot is, so the dark cloud is causing a lack of rain.
It's actually the opposite. The dark cloud is causing so much rain that crops are getting flooded and stuff isn't growing.
Gotcha. Okay. So it is an action RPG that is third person dungeon crawler. So I give full credit for that one. That was really close.
Okay.
Um, main protagonist is a young boy named Tone. Cohen.
Wow, I even got kind of close.
It's fairly close.
Not with the
So
name, obviously, but
I wouldn't expect you to get names. That's all right. So we'll say half credit for that one. We're going with a rough subjective 5 points per question
yes, and then we'll add it up.
system. So I gave you 5 for the first one and 3 for the second question. So
Okay.
you're at a total of 8. The bad guy, you said the evil Dr. Boohoo Bamboozle. I only gave you 1 point for that. The bad guy is actually a giant supernatural evil purple genie
Oh,
called the
okay.
Dark who has destroyed basically the whole world. The atmosphere is a fairly generic medieval fantasy setting. I only give you 4 points just because there are like kind of almost JRPG twists to it. Pretty darn close. And the basic plot, it is a young person seeking to figure out what's wrong with the world and why things are being destroyed and put a stop to the dark cloud. So I gave you 3 points, but the plot of this one goes the genie is awakened by a colonel of an evil army, and
Okay.
he destroys the whole world, but not before a fairy king protects everything by putting it in little magical bubbles called Atla. And so you
Ooh.
have to go find these bubbles to restore buildings and people to their villages and rebuild the world.
Wow. So if my math is right, that's roughly 16 of 25.
8, 9, yep. 16 out of 25. I'd say that's not bad for having nothing but a title to go off of.
Yeah, that went surprisingly well. Oh, this is fun.
Okay.
I like this. I like this a
Yeah,
lot. It's a little more imaginative. Um, okay, Chris, are you ready for yours?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm just giving you the title, correct?
Yes, just the title.
I'm gonna have to get a little imaginative with this one. You may or may not already know this. This game is called A Story About My Uncle.
Okay. I do own this game.
I think I bought it for you.
Yeah, I've never played it. I've seen it in my Steam libraries, but I don't know anything about it. So I think this will still work.
And if you do, I can just pick some other random game if I need to.
Okay. All right, a story about my uncle.
Okay, so what is the style of the game? RTS, FPS, MMO, third person, top down?
I'm gonna say it's a first-person adventure game. If
Okay.
that makes sense. Okay.
All right. And who is the main protagonist or protagonists?
Main protagonist is an. I really know nothing about this. It's an unnamed young woman. Who doesn't remember anything about her past or family.
Okay.
Okay.
So no memory of past. Sorry, if you see me looking down, I'm writing down notes. Past or family, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And next question: who is the bad guy, or what is the conflict in the game, or is there not one?
I'm gonna guess there's no concrete bad guy, and in my mind, the conflict is she's woken up on an island with no memories and is piecing together a story about her uncle based on evidence found as you explore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 4. What is the atmosphere, environment, or theme of the game?
An island, a jungle island.
Okay.
Yes.
Jungle Island. Okay. And what is.
Based on, I think, vaguely recalled memories of maybe screenshots from the game, but they also might be from a different game.
Okay. So, last question. What is the basic plot?
I guess the plot is the same as what I said for the conflict.
Right. It's kind of discovering information about specifically their uncle through adventure, basically.
Right. So the conflict is figuring out something about herself and her family.
Right.
And the plot is woke up on an island with no memories and are exploring, and there's some sort of through line about how her uncle was there as well.
Got it. So just high level, I'm going to give a summary of what we got. A story about my uncle, in your opinion, guessing, is a FPS adventure where the main character is an unnamed young woman with no memory of their past or family. There is no bad guy per se. It's more just her rediscovering her lost memories about her uncle. And the general atmosphere and environment is a jungle island that she just woke up on. And the general plot is she's adventuring and discovering, I'm assuming, clues or things about her past through those adventures.
Yeah. Things like journals and backpacks and whatever stuff scattered.
So, man, Chris, this is awesome. I really enjoy this. I would love to know if our audience likes this at all. If anyone is still listening with all the internet problems, if there's anyone still listening, please let us know. This is freaking cool. Okay, so remind me, do I give you the answer, what the ratings first, and then explain exactly what they are, or kind of do it all together?
Just all together. We don't have a hard and fast system for the reveal yet.
Okay, so a story about my uncle. What is the style of the game? You said it was an FPS adventure. That is 100% accurate. It is actually described as a self-proclaimed first-person platforming adventure game.
Okay.
So it's a lot of platforming type puzzles, jump from this thing to this thing, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Who is the main character? You said an unnamed young woman with no memory of their past or family. I gave you a 3 because it's directionally accurate. In the story, the main character is you, the player, but you are playing. So to give you a little bit of the plot here, you are playing as a man / the narrator who is telling a bedtime story to his daughter about his Uncle Fred and his adventures. And you play as that father, as a young boy, going through the story.
Looking through the story.
Right. So I actually thought that was pretty directionally accurate, which is why I gave you a 3 there. So a 5 and a 3. The next question was, who is the main bad guy, or what is the conflict in the game, or is there not one? I gave you 3 because in the actual story, this can be interpreted different ways, right?
Okay.
What's actually happening is you're searching for your uncle as the narrator, doing puzzles and platforms, and you're flying through different worlds. And it reminds me a little bit of Tron, because what you're actually doing is you're going through a world that your uncle created. Because what actually happened is your uncle disappeared. And you are going through his creation to try to find him.
Okay. I can see a parallel there.
Yeah,
okay.
So I actually thought that was pretty good, because there isn't really a bad guy. Now I'll tell a little bit about the plot. There's more to that. Question number 4: what is the atmosphere, environment, or theme of the game? You said Jungle Island. Unfortunately, I gave you a 1. This is the actual environment is it's super fantastical, very dream-esque. It is literally a world created by the uncle that is powered by these magical crystals and creatures. There's lots of floating rocks, strange plants, very spacious and rural, and like alien life forms and things like that.
So I was definitely thinking of the wrong screenshot.
Definitely the wrong. Yeah, right. And then regarding the plot, I gave you a 2. Your thought was, this girl wakes up with no memory and tries to figure out what's going on. That's not quite right. So here's the high level of what actually happened. So I already told you, father is telling a bedtime story to his daughter, and here's what he's narrating it. But here's what they don't make this super obvious, but this is the assumption. The father, his uncle, actually died, and the way that he's dealing with the distraughtness is by telling this story to his daughter about his uncle creating this universe that he got to adventure through. And then at the very end, he finds his uncle, and his uncle basically says, "Hey, my creation still needs me here. Why don't you go back to the real world?" And so that's like the high level. It's this father trying to explain death to his daughter in a way that is more understandable and easier to digest.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I missed a few a few points there, but
No, you did great.
hey,
So, let me.
not too shabby.
I think I got 14 if my math is right.
14. Yep. All right, that
Sorry
was
if I
close,
graded
but
too
hey.
hard.
Oh no, not I completely agree with the scores. If anything, I feel like maybe you gave me a little too much leeway on the plot there.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So our debut game, the name segment, goes to Mr. Jacob.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. That was a little long winded, but I did enjoy that.
That was yeah. I like the new format.
Okay. So, in summary, I am winning 2 segments. So I'm up 2-1. It's anyone's game at this point.
We've got 2 more to go. All right. So segment 4 is a whole brand new segment that we are workshopping here. We tentatively a working title. It's called the prop game. If anyone has a better idea, send it to us because it's not going to stay the prop game. But that's what we're working with while we figure it out. So the way this one goes, it's sort of a variant of 20 questions in which we will each choose an intellectual property and a character or object or place from that property. For example, I don't know, the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. And we've got a list of questions here, which eventually we would like to be able to share live as we do this. But for now, we've got a list of questions that we are allowed to ask. We are limited to the questions on this list. So it's not like 20 questions where it's just ask any yes or no question. And the strategy comes in choosing which questions to ask first based on what you've learned. And whoever can guess the thing in fewer questions takes the round. If for some reason we can't get it with the questions that we have, then we'll just switch to a standard, just ask yes or no questions until we get it.
Right.
At the end. So
basically fancy 20 questions with a winner.
Yeah. Basically fancy 20 questions with a winner. Yep. So if that sounds good to you, you can start as question asker and I will answer your questions. The property is The Lord of the Rings, specifically the movies. But
got it. Okay. And to be clear, I picked from these questions. Okay.
You pick from these questions, and I am to tell you whether it is a living thing, a place, or an object, and it is an object.
Okay. It is an object.
Yes.
Okay. First question: is it practical, decorative, impractical, or other?
I would say practical and decorative.
Practical and decorative.
Hmm.
Now, is there a limit to the number of guesses that I can make?
No, but each one counts as a question.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so it is practical but decorative.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm thinking. Would you consider it important to the plot?
Yes.
Is it natural, man-made, or other?
Um, Man-made. It was crafted. Yeah.
Would a person have one?
What kind of person? Just to clarify, those parentheses mean like you can choose a specific example. Like, would a
Oh, would a
would the King of Gondor have one, or would
would Arwen own one, for example?
uh possibly
Okay,
uh,
man.
established in fiction? No, but she could.
Okay, so it's decorative, practical, man-made, and a person would have one, and it's part of the main plot.
Hmm.
I like have so many guesses I want to make, but I don't want to lose. Like, could it? Nothing in Lord of the Rings could exist in the real world. Would you want it around, not want it around, or be indifferent to it?
I would want it around. Yeah.
I really want to ask if you're evil or not. Okay. Man, is it purchased or sold?
Uh, in the plot, no, but I imagine at some point it would be, if that makes sense. It's hard to answer.
How many? I don't even know. I think I've asked all the questions, other than the ones that don't make any sense. So I guess I'm gonna just start taking some wild guesses. It's decorative, it's practical, man-made. It could be sold. Um, Someone like Arwen theoretically could have one, though they don't need it. Um, you would want it around. I mean, the first thing is I'm thinking of it's one of the rings.
It is not one of the rings.
Um, it's
You also get a wild card question if you want to ask something more specific.
the part that I'm a little confused on is it's practical and decorative. So like it
Yeah.
has a use.
Hmm. But it is also made to be visually appealing. Yeah.
So like it could be the armor that like Bilbo had is another one that I am thinking of because it's
Is that a guess?
that is a guess for sure because it's decorative and practical.
Yeah, it's the mithril armor. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey. Okay, so
Yep.
I
You
asked
got it.
a lot of questions. I'm sorry I was not
That
keeping
was
track.
eight.
8.
Eight
Okay.
questions. Not bad.
All right. At first, I was thinking it might be the necklace that Arwen gave, or excuse me, Aragorn gave to Arwen. But then, when it turned into, you know, more practical, and yeah, you get the idea.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
are you ready for yours, sir?
I'm ready. Hit me.
So the IP is Half-Life 2,
Okay.
and it is an object.
Okay. An object from Half-Life 2. Okay. Well, I'll start with, would Gordon Freeman have one?
Yes.
Okay. Would you consider it important to the plot?
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. Is it? Hmm. Is it smaller than a um, smaller than a motorcycle?
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Hmm. Hopefully this is somewhat entertaining. Play along. See if you can guess before me. Could it exist in the real world?
No.
Okay.
I mean, theoretically, it doesn't currently exist in the real world.
Okay. Uh okay, I'm going to use my wild card question, which is just a yes or no question. Does it make use of the physics engine?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to guess. Is it the gravity gun?
It is the gravity gun. Very
All
good.
right. All right. Well, that was 6 questions.
Very good.
Hey, that ties us up.
It does.
That ties us up. That was fun, right?
Yeah, that was fun. I'm realizing I could have asked questions that are not listed here. Yeah, that's my fault. So I was sticking to the suggested questions too much.
Gotcha. We'll need to tweak it a little bit
No,
as
that
we
was
go.
good. That was good. Okay, so
Ah,
we are going to move into segment number 5 and our final segment, the classic, last but not least, lightning round. So what we normally do for this is Chris will pull up a 2-minute timer, and we have hundreds of just random questions that we will ask each other, and the goal is to answer as many as possible in the allotted 2 minutes. Let me
that's the goal.
get ready to cue the music here. Will you let me know when your timer is ready, sir?
Okay. My timer is ready, and just real quick before we start, I'm going to just increase this text size a smidgen. Okay. Cool. I'm ready. I'll count you down. It'll be a 3, 2, 1, and then start on go.
Okay.
Cool. And you're asking?
Yes, I am asking.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. If you could teach any grade or subject, what would it be?
4th grade science.
What fashion trend do you just not get?
Cutoff shirts.
If you could choose your nickname, what would it be?
Ace.
What is your best feature?
The smoothness of my skull.
If you could swim in any liquid, what would it be and why?
Water, because that would mean that I knew how to swim.
What is the song you hear most often?
Oh, Fresh Static Snow by Porter Robinson.
How many keys do you have on your keyring?
4, I
Okay.
think.
What is your favorite song?
Fresh Static Snow by Porter Robinson.
What advice did you get that was the most rewarding?
Oh, that's I don't ask for advice very much. Uh, less aspiring, more creating.
There you go. If you could change one thing about your looks, what would it be?
Longer, sexier legs.
What is your least favorite type of music?
Um, I guess scream metal.
Okay. If you were a superhero, what would your powers be?
Teleportation.
What fortune would you want to get from a fortune cookie?
Everything you do will win.
What is one food that you wouldn't want to give up?
Cheese.
If you won $1 million, what would you buy?
Investments.
If you had access to a time machine,
Oh,
where and when would you go? Oh, I didn't hear
sorry,
it.
my volume's not very high there. I set the timer, but yeah, that's time.
Okay, so we didn't get the time machine one, did we?
We did not.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Does that sound right?
Sounds right to me. That is the
15.
magic
It is. It seems like that's the common goal. All right, sir. You give me a 3, 2, 1.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. If you could teleport, where would you go and why?
The Grand Canyon, because it's got a good view.
Right on. What was your favorite cartoon show growing up?
Spider-Man,
How do you like your steak cooked?
medium rare.
What was the last film you watched?
Uh, uh, Unforgiven,
All right. What's your favorite place to watch TV?
the computer.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Probably some super rural part of Texas with my own land.
What did you eat for breakfast?
I didn't have breakfast.
What is your favorite cuisine?
Tie between Mexican food and Korean barbecue.
What foods do you dislike?
I dislike olives. They make me want to vomit. And it did say foods plural, so I need to come up with one more. Vinegar by itself.
All right. What is your dream car?
Aston Martin DB11.
Where would you visit if you had the chance?
I would love to tour Europe on a food tour.
Weapon of choice?
P90.
Where would you want to retire?
The same farm that I was talking about before.
Where were you born?
I was born in Cleveland. Yeah. I always confuse Akron, Cleveland.
What is your favorite sport to watch?
Probably football right now.
Favorite color?
Green.
What do you think of when I say fruit?
I think of blueberries.
Do you always wear your seatbelt?
I always wear my seatbelt.
Excellent. Have you ever been in a car accident?
I have not. Very
Any
blessed.
pet peeves?
Oh, many, many pet peeves. But the number one pet peeve of mine is people who get out of the shower, they're not dried off. Oh, they're not dried off, and then they go walk on the sink mat. So the next time the person comes into the bathroom that's not taking a shower, they get their socks all wet.
That sounds very annoying. Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Creamed.
I might need to refresh my page. Some of those show as blank on mine, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I was skipping through the blank ones.
Oh, okay.
Delete those.
I feel bad. Some of those were a lot easier than the ones that you got.
Hey, you know what? That's the nature of the lightning round. That was all right. Really, the only one that tripped me up was the best advice that you get. What is that? But I don't think I could have named another 5 answers in the time that it took me to answer that.
That's fair. Okay.
And that means for episode 6 of Botched Situation, scoring 3-2, our winner and not the screw up is Jake.
And the crowd goes wild.
Woo!
First time ever winning on Botched Situation.
Yeah.
I will take it, my friend. Thank you for
Everyone
going
bow
easy
to
on
the
me.
king. Yeah. Oh, easy, nothing. If anything, I'm going to go harder next time.
Well,
All right.
I would say today was pretty successful. A lot of new things, new visuals, adjustments to old rounds, old segments, new segments, all kinds of different stuff. And also included those internet issues. It looks like we did stabilize eventually. But But I do apologize for that. What I'm thinking we'll do, Chris. So the Twitch recording will probably have those cut in outs. I
Hmm.
am doing a local recording as well. Maybe we upload it to our YouTube or something. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure we'll get a steady copy out.
for sure.
Awesome. Fantastic.
I had a
Yeah,
blast.
so we did have a lot of new stuff. So if anyone feedback, let's plug it again. You can visit bit.ly/CJ Tell Us. We have a Google form there with some questions, including one that's just general feedback. Um, let us know what you think. What do you think about the new look, the new segments, um, us in general? What are your least favorite things about our appearance and personalities? Um,
Yep.
Anything you want to tell us?
Horrible looks for sure. Um, 10 out of 10
Feel
personalities, though, got to say.
debatable.
Debatable
We'll
for
say,
sure.
we'll say 5 out of 10 because half of us is a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Um,
Ridiculous.
Also, feel free to continue to follow us on our personal channels. You can follow Jake at twitch.tv/J4KE_1337.
Yes, sir.
See him talking in the chat, and follow me at twitch.tv/Mr. C. Watson.
You bet.
And we do our own things sometimes there, but all the good stuff is here. This is the channel you want to follow. Give us a follow if you liked what you saw. That helps us out.
Agreed totally. You won't regret it. And if anything, our self-deprecate I can't talk. Our self-insults will make you feel better about yourself.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thank y'all. Have a good evening.